Okay, in the last video we talked about creating branches and how to merge changes from one branch into another branch, and a little bit about conflict resolution between conflicting change sets. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've moved everything up to the master branch. The master branch is now the tip. I'm going to go ahead and push all of those changes up to the repository. So you can see, we've got all these revisions: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we're going to just push all that up to the repository. That way, if anybody on the team is doing work on their end, they might want to know that, hey, we just made some changes to the gold code stream, and you might want to pull those down. So all that stuff beamed up to the Bitbucket repo. If I look at the Rust Talks Take Two, the Bitbucket repo, I can see all this activity has been going on. There's been some merging back and forth, and you can see some stuff. Now, I said early on that when you commit, you should make sure that your commit messages are substantial or meaningful. And as you can see, these ain't exactly too helpful. And so just be in the habit of putting down something that makes sense to you later on, because when you look at the history, it can be helpful. So the deal is, you also have this ability to tag your change sets. And so both Declan Lynch and Nathan Freeman mentioned this. They kind of mentioned this several times during the conversation. Tag production releases. So I found that that's pretty helpful, and so this video is really just going to be about tagging. So the tagging mechanism is a mechanism where you introduce a tag, and then you can say, all right, well, this is the production version. So what you do is you can do team tags, and you can add a tag. So we'll say, all right, this is prod gold code release, whatever you want to call it. But basically, we're going to go ahead and add a tag. Now that's a revision, so we're going to go ahead and push that up the latest revision. Basically introduces that tag. We'll go ye old over here to the overview in Bitbucket, and we'll take a look at this. We still have our 3 branches, but now we have 2 tags. We've got the tip, and we've got the gold code tab. So let's just say this is how you might use the tags. Let's just say you go in and you make a new change. So my repo is already on the master, the tip, and oh rats, somebody calls up and says, hey, there's a bug, and you try to fix it in in your master branch, or even in the development, whatever branch you're in. So you can go ahead and make a change, and you can commit that change, and we'll say, okay, bug fix for A, B, C again, and we'll go ahead and I don't really need to commit this, but yeah, matter of fact, yeah, I'm not. But the point is, I just made a change. Well, actually, I will take a look at this. Let's look at. Let's push this up. Now, when we get over to Bitbucket, what we're going to see is we do have the 2 tags, but they're sort of different. So for instance, right here, if I go to the tip, well, the tip is that latest revision that I just made. If I go in and say, oh, I want to look at the prod tag, which I don't know if that's the right way to do it. Let's just go over here and say the prod gold code tag. Well, the last one there is 5 minutes ago, and here's our little tag. So, now we can say, all right, well, we got some history and blah, blah, blah. Not only do we know in our history, well, this was gold code. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, that's cool because not only can you go back to it in terms of going back through the history, because in other words, we always know that we can go to switch to and go back to the revisions and say, oh, well, let's go back to this one here or this one here. Well, how are you going to know which one really was the working code? The good news for us is we tagged one release as being gold code, and so you can either go to tags and find that there, or you can go to revisions and say, oh, well, that's the one that's gold code. So you can very, very quickly just roll it right back, keep all of your other code intact, and all of your code that you just changed is replaced because you just went back right to the tag. So that's about the only good thing that I've found, with tags. There's probably some other maybe better resources. Just for chuckles, I'm going to move up to the latest revision, and I'm going to go in here and do tags and say, all right, yeah, that one's all. We're going to say prod, 422 13, and we'll tag that. Now we've got a second tag, and we'll go ahead and push that for kicks as well. And again, once we look in the repo, we're going to see that we've got two different tags. But you can use those tags very, very easily to quickly move back and forth in the history to maybe gold code kind of a thing. All right, next up, we're going to talk about multiple environments.